The following presentation is an update to the community on the district's plans to return all students to in-person learning. As we plan to move from 100% online learning academy to in-person learning, it was necessary to reevaluate our priorities while keeping the safety of students and staff at the forefront. This necessitated a change in our previously proposed model of half-days in-person instruction. Since the start of the pandemic, the one thing that has been constant is change. Continual change can cause stress in both adults and children, which is why consistency in schedules and classroom teachers is a top priority as we move to partial in-person learning. At this point in the year, students have developed relationships with their teachers and classmates and are accustomed to their daily schedules. Therefore, we have updated our plans to maintain this consistency for students, families, and staff, whether they choose in-person learning or fully remote. It is also incumbent upon us as educators to ensure the least amount of learning loss while addressing the social and emotional needs of our students. It is also a priority that we maximize the instructional time during in-person learning so that time is not lost during transitions. The proposed partial in-person learning entails splitting classrooms into 3 groups, Group A, B, and C. Students whose parents choose partial in-person learning will be split into 2 groups, Group A and B, with half the class in person on their designated day. The students who choose the full online learning academy would be considered Group C. Every effort will be made so that siblings remain in the same group, A or B, to help families with schedules and planning. The following chart depicts a typical week for groups A, B, and C, and how we will begin to phase in-person learning at elementary and middle school during phase 1. On Tuesdays, students in Group A would be in person, and groups B and C would be e-learning via Zoom. Then, on Wednesdays, students in Group B would be in person, and groups A and C would be learning via Zoom. Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays would continue to be online. Elementary and middle school hours and instructional schedules would remain the same. In phase 2, we would add an additional day for students on Thursdays and Fridays. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, students in Group A would be in person, and groups B and C would be e-learning via Zoom. Then, on Wednesdays and Fridays, students in Group B would be in person, and groups A and C would be learning via Zoom. Again, elementary and middle school hours and instructional schedules would remain the same. All students would participate in the Online Learning Academy on Mondays. In phase 3, students in groups A and B would alternate Mondays in person. For example, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, students in Group A would be in person, and groups B and C would be e-learning via Zoom. Then on Wednesdays and Fridays, students in Group B would be in person, and groups A and C would be learning via Zoom. Students in groups A and B would alternate Mondays in person. Again, elementary and middle school hours and instructional schedules would remain the same. Here is a sample schedule of a 5th grade class with all 3 groups representing groups A, B, and C. The first column represents the daily time schedule. The 3 remaining columns illustrate what each group would be doing, either in person or e-learning, on a given day. This chart illustrates Group A learning in person, while Group B is participating in the Online Learning Academy, as well as Group C, the full Online Learning Academy group. For example, let's assume this is the first day of school during our first day of in-person learning. On this day, Group A would be in person, and groups B and C would be learning from home online. At 8:40, all three groups would participate in their class meeting with their classroom teacher. However, Group A would participate in the class meeting in person, while Group B and C would participate online via Zoom from home. At 8:50, all three groups would then receive direct math instruction in person and online from the classroom teacher. At 10:30, students in Group A who are in person would begin small group guided math instruction, while students in Groups B and C who are e-learning might be assigned Freckle or work to do independently from home, or they might be included in a small group lesson via Zoom with students in Group A. Then at 11 a.m., students would reconvene to begin their Reader's Workshop. During Reader's Workshop, some students might be pulled to conference with their teacher, while others might be assigned an independent reading task. Students would break for lunch at 11:40 and then continue their afternoon schedule until 2:35, when they would participate in specials while the teacher has his or her plan time. Schedules may vary by building and grade levels depending on the various student needs and available staff in each building. Each building will have schedules for each grade level available for parents to view and ask questions before parents are asked to select either in-person or e-learning. This shows a sample daily schedule for a student at Lehman Middle School. Students will follow a standard 10-period schedule, whether they are in groups A, B, or C. By transitioning students back starting with one full day, it allows the district and building administrative teams to problem solve any unforeseen obstacles. It also provides teachers and building staff the opportunity to acquaint themselves with the technology in the classrooms to provide both in-person and remote learning simultaneously. Student schedules, along with opportunities for recess and outdoor breaks, will be scheduled by the building administrators. District 33 is excited to bring students back to our buildings. The Return to In-Person Learning Plan has many benefits for our students. First, the A and B groups will be carefully created to keep siblings together as much as possible. This plan will allow students to remain with their current classroom teacher and classmates. Programming and curriculum pacing is maintained as well. Loss of instructional time is minimized in comparison to the half-day in-person model. This plan also allows for a seamless transition for all students in the event the state or local measures require buildings to close and all students to move to 100% online learning. Teachers will be provided the technology and professional development necessary. Lead teachers at each building will be supporting staff with ongoing professional development and daily troubleshooting support. Additionally, each classroom teacher will receive an iPad with a mobile stand and a portable voice amplifier with a microphone to use with their existing district-provided technology devices and supports. A parent commitment survey will be sent out prior to Phase 1. Principals will be hosting upcoming question and answer sessions in order to help parents make the decision that is appropriate for their child. Details to join these sessions will be sent to families by their building principal.